You're watching the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand.
Salah to settle it in front of the Kop.
Right, we're back for an instant match reaction video for the first time of the season. Make sure you smash that like button, comment with your thoughts on the game, and of course subscribe to the channel. I've got my brother Doyle here. Bit of an emotional roller coaster that game. Half lost my voice through shouting at Anthony Taylor for most of it. But try and sum that up for us. I mean, in the game, being up and going and obviously coming away with a draw, disappointing. But is it a decent point in the end?
Well, Stamford Bridge, innit? It's Chelsea. They might have had a poor season last season, but that's not who Chelsea are. They are a top team, let's be real. And Stamford Bridge is never an easy place to go to. So a point, yeah, on balance of the game. We'll talk about the game in a moment, but when you've watched it, you'll understand why a point is really pretty fair, to be quite honest with you. Except for the shambolic decision that, what's his name, Anthony Taylor. Anthony Taylor. The one that, was it Anthony Taylor? Yeah. Well, anyway, he made a poor decision. I think all neutral fans...
One poor decision.
He made a lot.
I'd say Chelsea fans are as angry at him as we are.
Yeah.
I mean, penalty's the main one, though, obviously. Yeah. We talk about that.
Penalty, so by the law of handball, to me, it is, if your arms are in an unnatural position and it hits your arm or your literal hand, you know, the one with the fingers on the end, that one, yeah. Well, it did. It literally, he cupped it, lad, like he was having a cup of tea or something. He grabbed it, lad, yeah, like a basketball, and it still wasn't a penalty. I don't understand what it was, but Liverpool now have had the first bad decision of VAR already, and something has to be done about it, lad, because these people can't keep making bad decisions like this.
You say that, but Anthony Taylor has been the ref for the last 5 fixtures between Chelsea and Liverpool. They've all been draws. The penalty is obviously a huge error on his behalf, and we'll obviously learn a bit more about that as the evening goes on. But Chelsea fans could say the same thing. There were moments when, you know, he didn't allow the ball to play. He was given soft free kicks. He wasn't given free kicks that were. So I sympathise with Chelsea because the ref was awful for both of us tonight. Let's take it back to the start and try not focus too much on blaming the ref, because we drew 1-1 not because of the ref.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, kind of did actually, if you give him that penalty, because he's a bit of a sausage. But if we start from the beginning, it was all good, Doyle. We score after 17 minutes. We scored again after 28. Marginally offside from Mo, who doesn't get the 7 years in a row scoring on the opening day. He came off a bit angry. We'll talk about that. But talk to us about the start, and what an assist, what a goal, what a move from start to finish. And it was obviously scored by Diaz.
Very, very promising start. Our midfield looked lovely. Mache coming to his element. He was looking for Mo constantly. You could see it. Them two seem to have developed a nice bond. And we started much better than I thought we were going to. Come out of the gates with loads of energy, lad. Midfield were winning every second ball, every first ball. It was nice to watch. And we put them under pressure.
We were making them make mistakes as well.
Yeah, we did. And not only that, we weren't just having the ball for having the ball's sake. We were creating chances with it. Mo Salah scored an offside goal, hit the crossbar. We had a few chances where Gakpo should have slotted it into somebody else, or Jota should have passed it in, or it was good for the first 30 minutes and they did not know how to deal with us. But what happens with these set of lads is, in my opinion, is they haven't built up that mental fortitude yet. That's what you need to do, and that takes years to build, at least 2, at least 2. And when things seem to go not their way, they seem to struggle to fight back against it. They really do. And that's what there's something that they're going to have to learn, because in the Premier League, there's going to be a lot of stuff that goes against them. So they're going to have to learn to fight back. But the start of the game, phenomenal, lad. That's exactly what I want to see from Liverpool. Energy, power, creating chances. And if I'm honest with you, Chelsea are lucky that we only scored 1 goal in that period. Having said that, moving past the first 30 minutes, after Chelsea scored that scrappy, crappy goal, which was a goal, so fair play to them, they dominated the game, mate. They absolutely did. Reece James had a great game. He did. He was brilliant. And Enzo, phenomenal, mate. Man of the match in the whole game. I think he was the best player on the pitch. And they did dictate the play. Having said that again, they didn't really create too many clear-cut chances. The ones that they didn't take. And it wasn't proper chances. So I'm not really convinced by Chelsea just by this performance, but I'm also not convinced by Liverpool by this performance either. So I don't know what we need to do going forward, but I can tell you one thing is we need midfielders. We're bringing on Ben Doak, we're bringing on Curtis Jones.
They did well. Both did, and Harvey, they all did well.
Yeah, they did. They all played well. But that's not the type of player you need when you're pushing for Premier League titles or Champions League, and we're not going to push for them this season with this repertoire of players that we have. They're good, but they're not good enough to get there, in my opinion. So I'm a little bit worried. I don't know what this last week is going to be like for us, but we need to pick somebody up because it was evident in that game. If one of our midfielders gets injured, we are, for lack of a better word, lad, we will not be able to compete.
Yeah, and obviously Caicedo, it looks like he's going to end up at Chelsea.
Oh, wait, lad. Do not want him. If somebody rejects Liverpool, that's it. We offered you big money, lads. We've got a better manager without a shadow of a doubt. We've been the most successful team in the Premier League, but winning Champions Leagues, FA Cups, whatever else, other than Man City in the last 5 years. So, don't know what it is, why you're choosing them, but I do, actually, money. Yeah. So, you can go there, lads, it's fine. As soon as you say no to Liverpool, don't want you, lads. Your heart's not in it, don't want
now, and again, we'll speak about the game, I want player ratings as well, but just quickly on that. Now that the world knows how much money we've got to spend on a midfielder, where's the best place to put that money in now, and when will it happen as well?
That's the point, isn't it? There's a shortage of number 6s in this planet. That's why Arsenal are playing at 105 million. That's why Chelsea are playing at 115 million for number 6s, mate. I don't know, because I'm not a scout, lad. That's their job, and they should have had this covered. I shouldn't be having to stress a week before the season that we don't have enough midfielders because they didn't have enough foresight. Are you joking? This is just not acceptable for Liverpool FC, lad. It's not. We have the lowest player count in the fucking Premier League, lad, with 20 players. 22. Yeah, 2 of them are goalkeepers, or 3 of them are goalkeepers, yeah. So that leaves us with 19 players. Are you mad? How are we supposed to compete with that? It was already a problem when we had 26, 27 players to compete with City anyway. So how are we going to do it with 20? I'm furious with the business that we've done, and we're just being made to look like fools. Having said that, Mach and Salazar, brilliant. They are good buys. And for 90 million, wonderful. But it's not enough. It's just not, lads.
Let's go through the team then. Alisson in goal, made some big saves. There was one from Jackson. Tried to save the first one. It's kind of come off your man's leg, then hit Alisson, then gone
scuffed in there.
But another good performance from him, as we always expect from Alisson these days.
He's our best player on the pitch, without a shadow of a doubt. He was the best player last season for us as well. We do not deserve him at the moment, is what I would say. He is leaps and bounds our best player, and you can see him getting frustrated in certain situations in the game when his players aren't necessarily protecting him in certain ways, and we've got to keep that man happy because he is very rare. He's
out of 10?
No, out of 10 I'd give him 8.
Okay. Trent?
6. He started well again, but it seems to take a lot towards the end of the game.
Konate started off brilliantly.
And I think he did play well. I think he was, if not Alisson, he was the best player on the pitch for us, and I'd give him a 7.5. Because he did have a few situations where he could have done a bit better, but having said that, he'd done so many good ones. So,
Virgil, captain?
7. He didn't put a foot wrong really. He tried his best, lad. Just didn't get much to the ball. He kept the ball so much with that 5 in midfield.
Robbo?
6.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say much,
some
lad.
Good bits, some not convincing bits. McAllister in the middle.
Loved him. Really did. He did misplace a few passes. He did, and he did dawdle on the ball a little bit too much. But I do think that's just because he's getting used to our style of play. It's the first game of the season, and I see a serious football player for Liverpool in Mache. So I'd give him an 8 as well. I would.
Szoboszlai, 7 maybe.
Yeah, I think he brought energy, didn't he? He run a lot more than I thought he was going to. He definitely did. He was aggressive. He was on the front foot. He wanted to press, all of that stuff. So happy with him, lad. 7. Yeah.
Who else started in midfield for us? Cody Hakpo.
Didn't have the best game, and it's not fair to him because he's playing out of position. I'd say 5, lad. 5. He did play poor today.
And then up at the top of the pitch, Diaz, who got the goal. Fantastic end to what was a brilliant move for Liverpool. But he had Reece James on toast in the first 25 minutes. Obviously got the goal to cap it off. Unbelievable, by the way.
Yeah,
the finish.
First 25 minutes, Diaz was looking like Luis Diaz, lad, that electric. Where you going, lad? I don't know how to contain you. All this electric chaoticness and composed dribbling, and it was wonderful. But again, it was the same as every player, really. It just tailed off after the first 25 minutes. But he was good for that start, and he was there in position waiting for that finish, and he finished it well. So 7.5, I'll give him, yeah.
So that's fair enough. Salah, amazing assist, really unbelievable assist. Pass really to the point where he's killed 3 players out of the game. Great finish from him. Hit the bar, right foot. Really wanted that goal, and came off and threw his toys out a little bit.
I mean, I would. He wants to break the record, lad. Klopp knows he wants to break the record. He's our best player. He doesn't want to come off the pitch. He's a competitor. I'd be like that. It doesn't bother me. Next week he'll be sound. He'll start. You know what I mean? Like, winners, that's what you said that in the stream. Winners want to play. So I'm happy with that. I'd give him, do you know what, 7.5 to an 8. I would.
And then also up front today, Jota.
I think he played well until he got that big knock. Like, honestly, I think that really, really hurt him. So 7, yeah. The one thing I will say is it was not nice to see them all come on and go off. Didn't like that. Because it mean we didn't score a goal with all of them 5 players on. Didn't feel nice that.
Just seen Chilwell's goal back where he's offside, but again, if you look at the line, Trent's the furthest back, bit of a gap between Van Dijk and Konate. Don't really know what's going on behind them, which is a little bit worrying. But the lads that came on did well. I'd give them 6s, 7s all round in terms of Harvey, Curtis and Ben Doak. Nunes almost scored at the end.
Yeah, Nunes
should have had that touch better though from that pass from McAllister.
But as McAllister should have been better with the pass as well.
Should have been a better pass on the floor.
We definitely should have took opportunities. But what I'll put it down to, first game of the season, little bit of nerves, little bit of decision making that's not quite right. That happens. So I'm happy to have a point, lad. A point is sound. The lads that come on. But is it Doak or Doak?
In the comments, let us know. But yeah, that's the player ratings from everyone. Just to give a little 30 seconds on it from the end. From myself, listen, in the end, it's probably a fair point. Chelsea, although they did have more possession, I don't think they necessarily cut us open and created clear-cut chances. There was that one for Mudryk where he's chosen to go around the keeper. Alisson did really well to kind of stand up and be in his face. But we take it. There's obviously loads that we need to improve on. There's always space for that, and getting a midfielder will definitely help that. Takes the load a little bit off Maka playing in a 6, which is not the position that we brought him in. But I don't really worry about the lack of goals today because I know that they'll come. At the end of the day, you're playing 5, including a Chilwell, a Silva. Colwill was okay after a really shaky start, and Reece James. So that's a decent defence on paper.
And 5 men is, no matter what, how many 5 men, it doesn't matter who's there, 5 men are 5 men at the back. It's there to make you hard.
If they get Caicedo, it's a worrying situation. If we get him, which I know we won't, then yeah, so we have to move on. I'd almost say whoever we do get in now, I know it's Sunday night tonight, it's got to almost be done by Monday, Tuesday, just to give us...
next game,
yeah, because the season started now. It's not like we can say, 2 weeks, still pre-season. It's here and it's there in front of us. So let us know what you think to that 1-1 draw. Shambolic refereeing again. We started off the season with a horrendous decision. Again, let us know what you think of that in the comments. But at the same time, we should have been a little bit more clinical. Maybe should have made the better decision in the final third. But it's the first game of the season.
Yeah.
How would you sum it up?
I would say we definitely didn't draw that game just because of the referee. Without a doubt, we didn't. He had poor decisions all over the park for both Liverpool and Chelsea. So I guess he needed some practice as well because honestly, that was very, very poor. But that's not the reason why we both drew. We both drew because of our style of play, and that's it. So you just move on to the next game, lad. It's a point away at Stamford Bridge. That's 1 game done that we haven't lost. That's sound. I'm happy with that. One of the big teams that we haven't lost at. Cool. Come to Anfield and let's see what happens.
Absolutely. Listen, it is what it is. It's a draw again against Chelsea. It's a shambolic Anthony Taylor performance again against Chelsea. But we take the point. We go back up to Liverpool. Bournemouth at home on Saturday. Looking forward to that. And we go again, Doyle. 9 months of madness. Yeah. Hey, we're allowing our mental health to be controlled by 11 people on a weekly basis, but we wouldn't have it any other way.
No, we wouldn't.
Come on then.
Thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it.
Please, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Kop TV.
The voice of football's most famous stand.